They say pride comes before a fall, and in my case, it literally did. For a while, my walking had been getting worse, and it felt like I was dragging this heavy weight around, with my leg seeming to get heavier and heavier. I'd come up with every excuse in the book when explaining to people why I was walking like that, from football injuries to muscle pulls, back pain. Basically, I'd say anything apart from the words, "I've got MS." At first, I could just about get away with it, but the more I walked, the worse it got. The hotter my body felt, the heavier my leg became, and eventually I started to fall. Sometimes it happened quietly when nobody was about, but one day in the middle of a busy, crowded supermarket where I worked, I fell down. I fell down hard. There was that huge, sharp gasp from people nearby, and it was like the sort of thing that makes time stop still. I just thought, oh God, I need to deal with this. And I threw my hands up and just said, yep, I'm all right, and just started to laugh it off. Even though my pride was hurting far more than my body, it was basically at that moment I realised that things had to change. Thing is, I didn't want to be seen as Kaz with MS. I wanted to be seen as Kaz, the manager, who basically the guy who got results, who led a team, but it was my pride stopping me. I didn't want to say that I had MS, and I didn't want to accept it. And it was literally causing me to fall. Then I decided to do something about it. I thought, this can't carry on. I went to my physio and got my first walking stick. I made sure it was a silver one, of course, to make it look like the sort of one that footballers use when they were injured, because I didn't want to look disabled. I remember on the drive to work on the first day of using it, I was still debating, I'll leave it in the car. And then I just thought, shut up, Kaz. Just push past the pride and get on with it. I remember parking the car up and basically walking into store and avoiding eye contact with anyone. And then I saw one of the senior managers, Paul, and he glanced at the stick, saw me and casually said, about time you started using that, and carried on with what he was doing. And that was it. No drama, no awkward questions, no pity. And basically that's when I realised that nobody else cared as much as I did, or no one was worrying as much as I did. If anything, they were wondering why I hadn't used one sooner. But once I started using the stick, things became easier. I could move with confidence, take part in conversations, and stop pretending everything was fine. Yeah, sure, sometimes I missed out on things and impromptu meetings on the other side of the store or something, but at least somebody knew that I was struggling with the walking, so the stick was almost like a symbol or a sign. A few years later, I took the next big step. In 2010, I started to use a mobility scooter, which I'm actually using right now. Using the scooter gave me freedom. It gave me independence. It meant I could go shopping. I could go to restaurants, and I didn't have to come up with excuses for why I didn't want to come out anymore. Since then, I've been everywhere, from rolling past Trafalgar Square to going on Mecca to pilgrimages, seeing the Petronas Towers in Malaysia. I've even mastered how to take a mobility scooter on an aeroplane, on ferries, and everything else in between. It's literally given me back my life. It's given me freedom. And if anything, I just wish I'd done it sooner.